I'm the master of anticipation. The master of anticipation. What's going on, everybody? The types of things that can only happen to your sweet Papa Yam. He goes to start the live streaming software, and then the whole thing just doesn't work. I literally I just wanted to change one small setting on OBS, which is the streaming software, and it just kept closing the software. And I was like, what the hell is going on? And so I was like, okay, I won't even change the setting. And so then I go and open it, and it just like won't even open. I'm like, let's just do the classic, have you turn it off and on again? So I restarted the whole thing, and here we are. It works beautifully. Look at that. It's just shit that can only happen to me, right? What is going on, everybody? Good to see everybody here. We're back for another Yammie Noob live stream. Very excited. We're going to let the boys all trickle in, have some fun. I'm going to post very quickly on Instagram. There we go. Quick photo. Phone the ringer's off. It's in boomer mode right now. All the sound effects are on. Let's go ahead and post this up. Live on YouTube right now. You guys are watching me use my phone. That's very cool for you. Someone on chat mentioned the 2025 R1, and I did want to mention that a little bit. I think it's like they had to do it because they're really struggling in World Superbike. But you look at the specs. Well, first of all, they made it race only, right? They stopped homologating it for road use, which kind of a bummer for all of you out there who really enjoy the R1 as a platform. But I felt like it was a little sad that all it really got was like winglets and went like race only. Power output was the same. It did get better brakes, which I was very happy to see. Got a little bit better brakes and got a little bit more sophisticated winglets and all that stuff. But ultimately, I was like, I don't know. It's not really like the fantastic R1 update that I think a lot of us were waiting for. There we go. Picture in picture. But yeah, I think it's a good update because they really needed it. I'm not sure if the winglets are really going to do that much for that package. They need a lot more power. That was always the issue in World Superbike, and that's why Toprak went to BMW. He just needed a better engine, and then he went and did amazing things with the bike that had a stronger motor because he stopped getting walked over with the Ducati. So, I don't know. I think it's going to be a bit of a mid upgrade for what's been going on. But Alex here says the R9. I swear to God, and it's not y'all's fault because everyone's hyped for it, but I'm so tired of hearing about the R9 because it doesn't exist. I'm like, Yamaha, for the love of God, just do it. Just at EICMA this year, just give us the R9 so everybody can just see what it is and get excited about it and enjoy it and love life. It bothers me that there's no R9 yet. And we got so close. We got the freaking XSR 900 GP. I'm like, just do it. Just do the R9. For the love of God, just do it. All the super sport teams are saying that it's going to come out. So I'm like, just freaking do it. Let's see what you guys are saying here on chat as we wait for the boys to trickle in. Robert says it's the first time in the stream after becoming a member. Thank you very much, Robert. I appreciate it. We had lots of folks joining up on the website after we launched the RS457. I think as of the last time I looked, which was earlier today, we had like 300 new members. So if you're all into Discord, I'm sure you've seen lots of new people jumping in. It's a ton of fun. It's very, very active over there right now. And it's been a lot of fun seeing all the new folks and seeing the new folks get all their bonus entries too. So that's been really cool to see. What else y'all saying here? Gizmodo says we were saying it was down to user error. Yeah, today's slightly delayed live stream. I think I was late by 4 minutes. Was user error. So yeah. TRT, I haven't seen where it says it's rates only. I hopped on Yamaha's website and it gives an MSRP to bike like a normal street bike. I read on an article I saw earlier, granted I skimmed it really quickly. I thought that they weren't homologating it for road use anymore and were selling a race only product. But if there's a road product, that's awesome. Again, the winglets and the better brakes, I'm like, that's it. Oh my God, that's it. But yeah, I don't know. Jake says, after watching you for a while, I got a 2022 Vitpillen 401 as my first bike. Can't wait to learn on it. I'm actually, I think, in the planning for my 2025 giveaway bikes. which I'm already doing because I have to work so far in advance nowadays. I have the Svartpilen 401 again because it got massively updated. It's got the new engine, the new frame, the electronics, the suspension. I think it's a vastly improved package. And now, man, the beginner bike category is getting so stacked nowadays that I'm honestly getting to the point where I'm like, just pick the one you think looks cool because they're all getting so good. Except for, we're talking about Yamaha, the freaking R3. Oh my God, they need to do something to update that bike. It hasn't been meaningfully updated since 2019, which was 5 years ago at this point, almost 6 now, going into 25. And that motor and frame is still from 2015. It's fundamentally unchanged as far as I remember. So I really, really, really hope that Yamaha does something with the R3 because they're absolutely getting their lunch eaten right now. They need to come out with an R4 that competes more closely with the 457 and the Ninja 500 and the CF Moto. Because right now, I can't really recommend that anyone gets an R3 when all those other bikes exist. It doesn't really make much sense. Silly time in the chat. I'm glad you're able to talk about the 457 finally. Yeah, me too. I've had it for a while. I've put on several hundred miles on that thing. But boys, we'll do a little behind the scenes here. We'll hang out for a little bit. Tell y'all what's going on in the Yammie Noob universe. Some content that's coming up. So yesterday, I spent 8 hours in the saddle of, get ready, a BMW R1300 GS. I finally did it. I finally did an enormous trip on a BMW GS to truly see what it's all about. Full detailed ride and review report coming live next week. C Sizzle with the $5 here. Thank you very much. He got a 2021 CBR 600RR, and I love it. I'm actually interested to get the updated CBR 600RR. I think that would be a cool bike to get. But anyways, behind the scenes, spent an inordinate amount of time on a BMW GS yesterday. And I was like, I think it's an interesting heritage-based product that's been like, they've had decades of German engineering resource thrown at it to make it work like a normal motorcycle, but it's very bizarre, and I'm happy it exists because it's very different in the marketplace, but I don't know, it still really isn't for me, but full detailed ride and review coming out next week. What else has been going on with the Yam? I have my new personal motorcycle. I alluded to this a while back, and since there's not too many people on stream here, it is the Touareg 660. That's my new personal motorcycle. The Aprilia simping is really happening here at Yammie Noob HQ. And so I've been really enjoying it. Going to go take it out for another ride tomorrow, gathering my footage, gathering my thoughts, and we're going to reveal that motorcycle probably in mid-October. We have a lot of stuff coming up. I am picking up the next giveaway bike this Saturday already because the RS457 is so short. And I've talked a little bit about this, a little bit here and there, where I mentioned last week where we had the RS457 picture with a Ninja 500 picture, and I was like, hey, this is an interesting little photo here. Maybe you guys are going to see something like that in the future. So yeah, I will be picking up a Ninja 500 on Saturday, but don't tell anybody. Alex asked, you kept the Duck, though. Yeah, I still have the Desert Sled. I can't bring it to myself to sell the Desert Sled. Sam P here asks about the CF Moto 675. I talked about that last week. I got to get that bike because everyone wants to know about it, but I don't have any thoughts about it just yet. Gilly Cars with the $5 here. Thank you very much. What are your thoughts on the 2024 Kawasaki Eliminator 450? I haven't ridden the Eliminator 450, but I bet you it competes really closely with the Rebel 500, which is what Kawasaki was doing, right? They just wanted to go toe-to-toe with that sweet, sweet entry-level cruiser bike market. Since I haven't ridden it, I can't form too much of an opinion on it, but I think that since the Rebel 500 is such a tried and true platform, it's difficult for me to recommend the Kawasaki 450. I don't remember pricing on that one, but you're really splitting hairs between those motorcycles. The Honda motor is super tried and true. It's been around for a long time, but the Kawasaki one's going to be probably just fine too. What else do we got here in the chat, boys? Uberna asks, what's your opinion on Indian-built bikes like the RS457? They've always been really good, honestly. Like, I think people really downplay the fact that so many of our favorite motorcycles in the world in general, at least in our kind of entry-level world here on Yammie Noob, are Indian-made bikes. Like Duke 390 has been made in India for a long time. The new Speed 400 is made in India. There's a lot of sleeper hits coming out of India right now that can no longer be ignored in the global market. And the 457 is just another continuation of that. It reminds me of when bikes were kind of starting to be built in Thailand and people were talking about those. And I think that the quality is there now. And Royal Enfield is really making some good stuff. The Himalayan 450 is an awesome motorcycle, and it is definitely a global motorcycle. There's no excuses for it anymore. Liquid cooled, 40-something horsepower, great looks, modern engine. I went to the launch for that in the Himalayas, and it was great. And I think the Gorilla 450 is going to be great too. So that's like 3 awesome Indian-built motorcycles right there. So nothing but good thing to say about it, man. I think it's great. All right, going to answer this one last question here on chat, and then we're going to get started with the questions on the stream. As always, if you guys have more questions, drop them on the chat. I'll do my best to answer them. And then in the future, if you want to join and ask me questions on the Discord that I try to answer throughout the weeks, join on yammynoob.com and become a member. Let's see here. Trailblaze Moto asked, what are your opinions on the second-gen FZ1, and what is your opinion possibly in swapping a true R1 engine to bump it up to 180 horsepower up from the 150? Okay, so second-gen FZ1, fantastic motorcycle. Really, really great. Works awesome. Works really well. I have seen one of those do preposterous things on track at the hands of Chris Paris from the Yamaha Champ School, just riding it preposterously fast. So frame, engine, and geometry and suspension are more than capable to do some really, really amazing stuff. That bike is phenomenally capable. Your idea of swapping a true R1 engine to bump it up to 180 from 150, way more trouble than it's worth, in my opinion. Just get an MT10. Just if you want an FZ1 that has R1 flavor and character, the new MT10 or even a last generation MT10 is going to do everything you need it to do, and you just buy it and you're done. You don't have to do all that work. You don't have to swap in an engine, all this stuff. Don't mess with that. That's not really worth it. Unless you want to take on a project, but I don't really think it's worth it. Boys, let's begin with the questions. Why don't we? Let's get started. This week's rider questions answered. I love doing this one. You guys know I am a big fan of all these questions. I really appreciate y'all asking all these great questions. And again, as a reminder, join on yammynoob.co. You can ask me questions on Discord all the time. I try to answer them as best I can. And if I can't answer them, our amazing community answers it on my behalf, which has been really sweet. So let's get started with the first question here. Berto Ramirez on YouTube asked me, thoughts on Yamaha's YAMT semi-automatic transmission or Honda's E-clutch? Okay, so I don't know what happened in the last 2 years in motorcycling where all of a sudden it was like everybody's going to try to build an automatic bike. There was virtually no interest in this. Honda was out there for like 10 years with the DCT system, banging the drum that we got to get new riders riding automatic. We got to do this. We got to do that. And I never saw the appeal of it really. Like it seemed like a very niche thing. I was happy it was being made, but it didn't really seem that interesting to me as a diehard motorcycle enthusiast. I was like, well, the whole point is to have the clutch and the control and like really ride the machine. I completely understand if you're not able to, if you have a disability, it's awesome that there's options that you can still ride and have that control. But if you're capable, I never understood it. But now the Yamaha YAMT system is more similar to the DCT, where you have shifters on the grip and near the control module over here on the left hand. And it does away with the clutch entirely. I think Honda's E-clutch system is the coolest one that has come out in quite some time. The reason for it is because it's an automatic when you want it to be, and it's a manual when you don't want it to be. And that is super cool. It means that if you're lazy and riding and commuting in traffic, you don't have to keep feathering the clutch in and out for stop and go traffic. That's awesome, right? Like sometimes you do just want a scooter, right? Like you just want to sit there. And other times, if you want to use the clutch, you get to actually use it and ride it the way the motorcycle was intended to ride, and it bypasses the system completely. So I think that's really neat. MV Agusta has kind of figured out a solution for this for a while by using a recluse clutch alongside an up and down quick shifter. So it functionally behaves the same as the Honda, where you can pull in the clutch and it bypasses it. But Honda's E-clutch is a different mechanical system for doing it. But I'm all for it. I think this is really cool. And you guys let me know in the chat if you think that you know, cool, you know, automatic or these kinds of systems? Like, which one's your favorite? And I'd love to kind of start the discussion a little bit there, because I think it's a nuanced issue that we need to start talking about in motorcycling, because Yamaha's doing it, BMW's doing it, Honda's doing it. It's getting pretty cool, you know? All right, next question. TK on YouTube. What are your thoughts on cruise control add-ons on sport bikes? Does it take away from the beginner riders learning throttle? Any downsides to using them? So there's two schools of thoughts on this, right? You can do the Ducati approach, where it's like they will not put cruise control on sport motorcycles. I think even to this day, the Panigale, even the new one, they will not put cruise control on it, despite easily being able to, right? BMW understands their customer base with the S1000RR, and they put cruise control on there, right? So that goes to show you there's different philosophies for cruise control on sport bikes. I don't think it takes anything away from beginner riders learning throttle control. I just think that beginner riders need to understand when to use cruise control and how to use it, right? It is not a substitute for just, you know, flicking it on and letting the bike do whatever. I think that cruise control should really only be utilized when you're going very straight on a highway for a very long time, and you know that you're going to stay there very long and there's no traffic around you. Some cruise control systems nowadays, like BMW's R1300 GS, has adaptive cruise control, which I got the chance to use just yesterday when I was doing my ride and review. And they work really well, like scary well. But having this like ghostly kind of braking is super strange, and the whole thing feels a little eerie, if I'm not going to lie. But I don't think it takes anything away from beginners learning throttle control by having cruise control on the bike, especially because the vast majority of beginner motorcycles do not come with cruise control, right? Even if you go up to an MT-07, a GSX-8R as a beginner bike, which is really stretching the envelope, a Trident 660, those kind of beginner plus bikes, R7, they don't have cruise control. The vast majority of entry bikes don't have it, so I think it's okay. I don't think it's a big deal. Okay. Kermit Ketamine, excellent name, on YouTube asks, people bully my R7 for being slow when they use 1% of their power on the street. Why do people dick measure with CCs? Well, this is a question as old as time, right? Why does the male species of human beings want to flex up and assert dominance and feel like because they have the faster bike, they are better? I think it's just in our nature, right? Like, a lot of people ego ride motorcycles, and it's a bummer, right? It's a bummer when people just get a really fast bike because they think they're better than everybody, and they then, you know, take it the next step and talk down to people who have smaller displacements or smaller amounts of horsepower. Having a ton of horsepower, if you don't know how to use it, really does very little for you. In fact, it's just going to scare you and yourself. But a lot of people ego ride in this way, and it's really lame, honestly. If I'm being just completely frank with you guys, I think it's really lame to go and buy a super fast motorcycle and then bully someone else for riding an R7, where the R7 is vastly capable for the vast majority of street riding and will easily keep up in almost all situations, except if you're highway roll racing, right? If you're out there doing 130, 140 miles an hour on the highways, trying to weave between traffic and do crazy stuff, yeah, an R7 is not the right tool for the job, but you should be doing that anyway. So I would say if people bully you for your R7 and, they keep trying to measure up with their CCs, tell them to pull up to the track. Be like, let's settle it. let's see who's good, because on street, it just takes someone being brave. That's all it really is. Next up, Piotr Prezipiorka on Instagram asked me, are 350cc Royal Enfields too small or too slow for a starter bike? Asking more for classic 350. So it really depends on where you live. The 350cc Royal Enfields, for example, in a place like São Paulo in, Brazil, is definitely not too slow, right? A motorcycle like that is going to absolutely be able to keep up and is going to be totally fine. Where I think the 350 misses the mark a little bit is that it's still quite heavy, right? It makes like 20 horsepower and like 19 foot-pounds of torque or something really small like that. But I think it still weighs well over 380 pounds or something like that. If you guys, on chat, if you have more insight on that, please correct me. But I'm pretty sure it only weighs like, it weighs about 360, 70, 80, somewhere around there pounds. So I think it's a bit dense for what it is. I I wouldn't really recommend the 350cc Royal Enfields. I really think that they are actually a bit too anemic, a bit too, classically minded in that way. We've kind of moved past the point. And honestly, the price for the 350cc Royal Enfield doesn't really make sense when you can get a Triumph 400 for not much more money. So I would say definitely get the Speed 400 because that's going to be a little bit better than the 350cc Royal Enfield. But if you start looking higher up in the displacements, right, the 650 Royal Enfields are really good. Okay. Next question here. MRD Ford asked, why are insurance companies totaling out bikes with only cosmetic damage? Okay, so this is a great question. This is something that can happen if you have an older motorcycle that isn't worth as much money, and then you have, let's say, fairing damage, and you need to go get new plastics on the motorcycle. That can easily total out the bike. For example, if you go and buy a Ninja 300, right, for, let's say, $3,000 or whatever, right? And now let's say you had a low side spill and you need all new plastics on the left side. Well, all those plastics are usually connected, right? You can't really buy, you'll have to buy an entire new front piece and a piece back there. And the other part that sucks is if you're going to take it to a shop to then do the labor to fix all those plastics, putting fairings on a new bike can be kind of tricky, and they can add up those hours. And I could easily see a situation where you have a Ninja 300 or 400 or something like that, and, you have to get all new plastics, a couple cases, or a lever, or, whatever it is. It could easily be totaled out. Easily. Even if the bike is totally fine, even if it just has cosmetic damage, the value to fix the motorcycle is way too high versus the actual value of the bike. The price to fix it is too high, and then the insurance company is just going to cut you a check because it's easier. But whoever can find that bike later on is going to get the deal of a lifetime because the bike is still good. It just needs new plastics. And those are great contenders for race bikes, in my opinion. So that's why insurance companies sometimes total out bikes with just a little bit of cosmetic damage. All right, Justin Lavelle on YouTube. Man, I need help choosing between the CBR 650R or the R7. Now, I want to do something a little different here. I would love to see on the chat who wants to, let's do a little poll, shall we? We'll do CBR 650R. Oops, that's wrong. CBR 650R or the MT07. Now, we're going to start a poll real time. There we go. Okay. So, Justin Lavelle, we're going to let the people decide. You're going to have to decide who's going to win here. And then whatever. Oh, no, you said R7. Well, okay, just imagine MT07 is R7. Can I change that? Or I can only end it. Okay. MT07, just pretend it's R7. I'm an idiot. I can't read, apparently. But yeah, whatever ends up winning, then you will have to choose. And this is actually really fun. I'm curious to see now. We got 50% on the CBR 650R. I think people like the Honda a little bit more. People asking some good questions here. Is it the first bike, second bike? Yeah, that's a good question. Justin did not give us too much information to try to figure out. I'm going to assume it's second bike because this kind of sounds like second bike purchase to me. I think it'd be pretty bold to go for an 85 horsepower 4-cylinder as a first motorcycle. Not the best idea, but Zug's Wangan here with the right idea. SV650 over all of those. Yeah, I agree, man. I mean, the SV650, you can't go wrong. Looks like the R7's winning. MT07 is in the lead a little bit, 54%. We'll let that poll keep going. And Justin, if you do end up catching this, just know that the people chose your next bike. And that was the way we solved that question. All right, Imran Rides on YouTube. Yammie, what do you think Yamaha needs to do to get the MT07 up to date? Why do you think they haven't updated the MT07 to compete with the current market? I think the reason Yamaha hasn't updated the MT07, first of all, is because they are printing money with that machine. The basic architecture for the 689cc CP2 engine has been in development since 2013. I mean, they finished R&D on that bike and launched the first MT07 in 2013. The frame and motor for that platform has not significantly changed in at this point 11 years, right? They're pulling a Suzuki, right? Like They have sold so many CP2 engines, right? In Tracer 7s and Tenorés and R7s and MTO7s, and all of those engines are literally the same. And that helps for reliability. It helps for cost control. You have one factory that makes one engine. You might be making it in multiple factories, but the assembly line is exactly the same, right? The materials, the putting it together, the supply chain, everything's exactly the same. So they're just printing money on this bike, right? So from a business perspective, Yamaha's doing a great thing with that. However, I think now the competition's starting to get a little stiffer, right? GSX-8S, very competitively priced. The Honda Hornet 750, right? The Trident 660, honestly, better than the MTO7, extra cylinder, all that good stuff. I think Yamaha, I don't even, it's so tough because the CP2 is such a great engine. I don't really think it needs to be improved. I know that sounds crazy. I think the MTO7 just needs to get slightly better geometry, slightly better handling, and slightly more upmarket features. Basically, what Yamaha did with the MTO9 this past year of giving it like slightly better looks and a slightly better screen, a full color TFT. The brakes on the MTO7 absolutely need to be addressed, in my opinion. They have the most wooden, cheap feeling brakes. If they could get some radial mount brakes on there, a proper master cylinder, maybe take the R7's brakes and just put it on the MTO7 because those work great. Maybe do a slight price increase, just a little bit for that, right? And then the bike is great. It doesn't need much more than that. It's still an awesome motorcycle, and I still think it's punchy and fun. And if you just got to keep the price right, that's what I would do. I would keep the engine and frame exactly the same and just tweak the geometry a little bit, make it a little bit more sporty, better TFT, better brake feeling. I forgot about this too. The front end on that bike is pretty woeful. Slightly better suspension, maybe, Basically, take the components from the R7 and put them on the MTO7 and just zhuzh it up a little bit, and then you're fine. That's all you need. Brandon on chat here, MTO7 SP1. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Oh, by the way, Justin, your the MTO7 R7 is winning on the poll, so that's what you got to get. Sorry, my friend. All right. Airglide 2 on YouTube. What do you think is taking Suzuki so long in coming out with the 400cc motorcycle? This is the question of the decade, in my opinion. Suzuki has been caught completely with their pants down in this beginner bike category that has been exploding right now, right? Like, you got Aprilia selling awesome bikes. CF Moto came in and just is cleaning up shop with their price value driven bikes. Hondas and Yamahas and Kawasaki with the Ninja 500, with the 400 basically being the GOAT, in my opinion. Suzuki has done nothing. They've done nothing. And really, to me, when I saw that Suzuki did not give one single F about the motorcycle market in general, it was two things. Number one, it's when they just basically stopped. Oh, what happened to my camera? Oh, one sec, boys. That was really weird. It's back. Okay. I think y'all can see me now. I should reappear now shortly. Anyways, okay. So hopefully I'm appearing on here now. That was really weird. I think I am. Let me check on OBS. No, I'm not. I'm still frozen. We're having all kinds of issues today. Wait, are we coming back? Are we coming back? Hold on, boys. Hold on. We're coming back online. Hopefully you can hear me. Nope, nope. Oh my God. The stream really did not want to happen today. Hold on, boys. I'm coming back. Oh my God. This is so ridiculous. Okay, let's just turn it all off and on again. We're doing this in real time, guys. 1 sec. I will come back. Wow. I cannot. Okay, this is not working. This is insane. Boys, I'm so sorry. Why is this not happening? Oh my goodness. Oh, there we go. Oh, we back. We back, baby. We back. We back. Here we go. Here we go. I'm back. I'm waiting for it to pop back up on the YouTube stream so that I know we're good. There we go. Oh my God. I swear to God, today's stream did not want to happen. All right, we're back fully. Okay, we're good to go. I don't know. The camera's never done that before. Okay. Okay, we're good. Gixxer hackers, everybody working. Okay, this is the stream that just did not want to happen. Okay. All right, here we go. So let's redo this question. Why is Suzuki taking so long and coming out with the 400cc motorcycle? There's two reasons, right? That showed to me that Suzuki didn't care anymore. I was talking about that. The first is that they pulled out of MotoGP. Inexcusable in my opinion, especially since Alex Rins won, I think, at Valencia and at Phillip Island that year towards the end. The project was doing amazing, and they're like, we don't care, we're pulling out. Terrible decision. The second is the fact that Suzuki has not updated any of their sport bikes in like 9 years. The GSXR 1000 has been updated since 2017. Gixxer 750 and 600s have not been touched in God knows how long. And they sell a Gixxer 250 still. I mean, it's crazy. It's like, why on God's green earth would you sell a Gixxer 250 in today's market, right? To not even bump up the displacement. So, yeah, I think that at this point, Suzuki has missed the boat, and I don't know what they're going to do. I don't even know if they're going to do anything. I think they're focusing on a totally different strategy, going after the middleweight market, the adventure market. I don't know. So, yeah, I would love to see a new Suzuki beginner bike. There are rumors that the DRZ 400 is going to get fuel injected with the 6-speed box. Some patents came out, but I'll freaking believe it when I see it because that thing is a dinosaur. So, yeah. From Rags to Races on YouTube asked, what year would be the best pick for getting a used R1, Papa Yam? So, if memory serves me correctly, let me see here. There was some year that was bad for the R1. I want to say it was 17 or 16. This is really stretching my R1 specific knowledge. But in my opinion, basically anything post 2015, you're getting like the full Zoot R1s that exist nowadays, right? When they did that big update in 2015. They've basically been the same since then. They haven't changed too much. So anything post 2015, I think would be a great choice for a used R1. If you can't get one of those, if you're priced out of them or whatever, the 2009 to 2015 was also awesome. That was the bug-eyed one with the exhaust out the back, and all of those have the cross-plane sound. I think if you're getting a used R1, you got to get a cross-plane. If you go too far back in the catalog, they don't have the cross-plane sound, and to me, R1's got to have the cross-plane sound. So, yeah, I would say that for sure. Zugzwangen on YouTube. This guy was on chat before, wasn't he? He's a dedicated user. It's cool. He asked, are there any good retro-looking standard bikes anymore? All I can think of is like Z650 RS or Stove V7, the Moto Guzzi, the Stone V7. There's plenty of good-looking retro standard bikes. You perhaps have to expand your definition a little bit, right? Like XSR 900, XSR 700 are standard bikes that are retro-looking, right? They're a little more on the sporty side. The Z900 RS, I think, also looks incredible. That's a standard motorcycle. I think the Bonneville lineup from Triumph, all of those are awesome. The Speed 1200 is an amazing motorcycle. Those are all standard and work extremely well. And I think they just released a brand new 1200 RS, which Tejas actually asked me here on chat. He said, what are my thoughts on that? Very excited on that. I do think that it's a bummer that they delineated the bike so much that they created a cheaper base model with a more expensive model that has, like the TFT and some other stuff with it too. And they did away with the analog clocks, which super, super big bummer in my opinion. So I don't know, but we'll see. But yeah, those are just some good looking retro bikes that exist. There are plenty of other ones, but yeah. And boys, that's going to wrap up the questions. Very chaotic today on the questions, especially with the poll that we did for the first time with Justin. Apparently you're getting an R7, so congratulations, buddy. The camera dying, the stream not wanting to start. Today's stream is the one that didn't want to happen, but we are here making it happen because that's what we do here on Yammie Noob. As a reminder, you join on yammynoob.co, and there's none of these live stream shenanigans. I'm just there, more low-key. I'm hanging out. I'm doing drive-bys on people in the chat. It's great. It's a good time. So let's move on to the next part of the stream here. The bike roast or boast. We've changed the branding a little bit on that, thanks to some of the comments, and it now rhymes, which is great. And we have now, producer Logan came through, Valentino Rossi on the altar, the pearly gates, in front of a beautiful, wretched chopper bike. But producer Logan, I told this to you in our meeting earlier today, and I will tell it to you once again. Why is Rossi not in his proper race suit? Why is he in his BMW touring car racing outfit instead of his proper Dainese race suit from back in the day? Shame on you. This must be updated immediately, but we're getting close to our Lord and Savior here. So let's check out people's motorcycles. All right, Mr. Sir Pancakes on Discord. He says, this is my 2003 YZF 600R Thundercat. This cat is my 5th or 6th bike in the last 2 years. This one has hands down been my favorite. Fresh rebuild with all beefed up internals. I put around 800 to 1,200 miles a month on it. The bike handles exceptionally well in corners and just wants to eat them up. The ride experience is smooth all the time, every time. Fully adjustable suspension front to back has never left me wanting to feel more out of the bike, and as I can go in and change it up if I want a different riding experience for the day. Let's take a look here. Now, I got to tell you, I know these are good bikes. I've known 2 guys who have actually had one of these, and I know that they're good bikes, but I'm going to be so for real with you, man. I think it's ugly. And chat, back me up here. Do you think this bike is beautiful, or do you think it is ugly? Because I do think that this poor bike, unfortunately, is a little ugly. This bike, to me, for some reason, screams early 2000s more than hardly any other bike. It looks like a Cyclops with like a sad little face on it, wearing like a cloak. The vibe of the Thundercat was always weird to me, and it was also weird that they sold this bike alongside the R6 back in the day. They had both of them on the showroom floors at the one time. Yeah, Alex says it looks like a one-eyed ogre. Looks like a scooter. It's a little regrettable in the looks department. However, I know it's a really good motorcycle because I hear this all the time from people who actually own this bike. They really like it. And I tell you guys all the time, I'm like, early 2000s, 4-cylinder bikes from Japan. They're awesome. They're all good. Just get whatever one you can. And this gentleman has done that. He's proven us all wrong here. And it does, I will say, it does look clean. It does look like you take care of it. It doesn't look wretched. I like the way it's looking here. And it's a great bike. It makes the right sound. It goes great, handles well, has the proper frame, has the proper geometry. It just looks a little strange, right? I mean, it's a little strange. But it can be cool, right? I think ergonomically, look how high up these bars are, man. Like, they're all the way up here. The seat's right there. I think it's a comfortable ride. I think I got to do a ride and review on some of these early 2000s bikes, man. We have not done a proper retro review on the channel in a while. All right, next bike. That 7 dude on Discord. My 2023 Triumph Rocket 3R. Oof. I love the Rocket 3. I just got it this year. Currently has just under 2,500 miles, with the last 300 miles with the ECU allowing 100% throttle opening. It's affecting my rear tire. It's also my first motorcycle. There is no way that the Rocket 3 is your first motorcycle. I think you're being facetious, just like you're talking about your rear tire. Okay, Rocket 3, is just, oh my God, I love this motorcycle. If I were ever to get a cruiser, it would be a Rocket 3. Absolutely no doubt in my mind. It's my favorite big-ass cruiser I've ever tested because it does something fun and weird and different. And I think it's just so much fun to ride. I really fell in love with it. I thought it was so cool. And it's super unique, man. 160 foot-pounds of torque. It gives you Turbo Hayabusa energy. This front tire right here is a 160. This has an SV650 tire in the front. It is absolutely bonkers what this bike can do. It turns the world underneath it. And yeah, the rear tire, of course, is getting rounded out because you're opening 160 foot-pounds of torque on this beast. Now, the one thing that does suck about the Rocket 3 is it's very much like a no-touch kind of bike. You really cannot, I mean, I know some people work on them, but like they're so heavy, they're so big, they're kind of weird. I wouldn't ever really work on one if I didn't have to, but I mean, a 2500cc engine, a 2.5 liter engine, that's bigger than the engine that was in several cars that I've owned. It's insane. It's insane. If you've never ridden a Rocket 3, I highly, highly recommend it. Go out to a Triumph demo day, try one out. They are so wicked. And I would not mind if I had one in the garage. I'll tell you that right now. All right. King Battle Duck on Discord. He said, this is my first cruiser, and I think I've switched sides. It's a Honda Shadow Spirit 750 that I got for $3,000. It's not perfect, but I love it. Oh, it's a bike. The Shadow is such a funny bike because, like, you see them all the time, but I've never met someone who owns one. I don't know who owns a Shadow. I've never met anybody who has one, but I've seen them all over the place. And yes, they're a little pedestrian, and they're kind of like a Me Too cruiser. It was kind of when Honda was, I mean, kind of trying to be a Sportster, but not really because it's liquid cooled. You see that big radiator right there. This one's in pretty good nick. Love the American flag just rolling in the back. Love that. A Patriot. What are these ginormous, like, are you going to go hit up are you going to grind something with these things? These look like BMX pedals that you would jump on the side of like a curb and just grind stuff down a handrail or something like that. Yeah, the Honda Shadow, I think, for $3,000, well done. This is a very clean motorcycle for $3,000. And I tell you guys a lot. I'm like, dude, just get a $3,000 motorcycle, call it a day, just learn, get started, all that. But I think you mentioned that it's your first cruiser and you switch sides. Okay, so it's not that it's your first motorcycle, but it's your first cruiser. And yeah, for some people it works. I think, there's stuff with a little bit more character, so to speak. Jonathan says that off-duty police officers get these. That's funny. So yeah, I won't clown on it too hard. I love that you're out there having fun, but Honda Shadow, it's okay. All right, Crazy Cosmo on Discord. 2014 Ducati Dio Strada Touring, purchased for $8,500 at 5.5K miles. Now that's a pretty good deal. Painted muffler, multiple parts delete, budget, bar end mirrors, Nelson rig tailbag, needs nothing else. Oof. Now, the Diavo is a weird bike. We can all agree. And the one back in the day, what I want to point out with this bike to you is that it has almost foot underneath you controls like a Monster or something like that. But in typical Ducati fashion, it's a little bit more muscly, a little bit more beefy. And I never really understood what the Ducati Diavo was supposed to be, this original one. It wasn't really a muscle cruiser. It wasn't really a sport bike. It wasn't really a thoroughbred cruiser. It was always its own thing. And the proportions were always a bit strange to me. But I'll tell you what, that big V-twin from back in the day, the Diavo, was pretty damn fast. It was pretty damn fast. And then this kind of like touring configuration, it's interesting. I think is this a comfort seat or is this a stock seat? Single-sided swing arm looks beautiful. This looks wonderful right here, right? Like you get a pipe on this thing, single-sided swing arm. This is classic, just like sexy Ducati from the side. Like that looks really, really nice. And for a 2014, it's aged really well. It looks great for 2014. It doesn't really look that old. The new Ducati Diavo V4 is obviously much spicier, but I think you can still have a lot of fun with one of these old Diavos for sure. CB on chat says, looks like Buell's big brother. Malia says the windshield needs to go. No, keep the windshield, man. This is like a long distance, all day rider. Like, I think these are great. You know, if you're going to do 300 miles or something in a day, you need a windshield. It's going to work a little bit better for you. You see, I don't know if it's just the camera angle, but I've always felt the proportions of the Diavo were just a bit strange. It never looked quite right. There's a lot in the middle, right? Like, I always felt like this area here, there's just too much. There's just too much bike there. It always felt like it's just like 30% bigger than it needs to be right there. So yeah, I don't know. The Diavo is a bit strange. This color's cool, though. It's kind of tinted gray sort of thing. All right, Gearhead Brady. Dear Yammie Noob, I'm sorry for I have betrayed you. I sold the R3 and bought a 2006 GSXR 600 full gas with a sad face. I don't think that's a betrayal. And that's a clean-looking Gixxer, honestly. Honestly, that's a good-looking Gixxer. Stock exhaust, you did great. It's not a molested Gixxer, and it's red. It looks cool. Honestly, you guys are going to think I'm nuts. I was talking to producer Logan about this earlier today. So I'm actually moving back up to the Dallas-Fort Worth area in a couple of weeks. I'm moving out of here from Austin, unfortunately. Going to miss hill country out here, but it's all for good reasons. Nothing bad's happened, nothing like that. Just moving closer to family. And one of the coolest things about DFW is that it has a bunch of racetracks. There's Eagles Canyon Raceway, Crescent, and the new G2 Motorsports Complex. I don't know if they're doing that many motorcycle track days, but it's yet another racetrack out there. So I will very much be leaning back into the track day fast boy lifestyle here in a little bit, because I will have the ability to, because I'll be so close to these racetracks. And coming back to the original point of this, I am looking at stuff like this. I am actively trying to find a track spec GSX 600, GSXR 600R, a ZX6, an R6, not the Honda. I don't like the Honda. So one of those three. And I know I'll find one because they're a dime a dozen. And then I'm just going to beat the ever-loving crap out of it and just love my life. I will be a track day Gixxer bro all day, every day. So I do have a bit of a soft spot for the 600 class Japanese bike. Look at my boy looking good at the track, enjoying himself, having fun. You have not betrayed me. You have honored the Yammie Noob lore here. You started with an R3, went to a Gixxer, went on track. This is what we all should be doing, folks. This guy's living the dream. Look at this. You see this? This is what you should all aspire to be. This is incredible. I love it. Donald here said, you were amazing. You literally got my girlfriend interested in riding, so I gave her my old bike. Well, guess what? She's my girlfriend now. I'm just kidding. That's great. No friction zone. Isn't he in jail? I think you're talking about Gixxer Bra. He is not in jail. He is free. Froyo _O on Discord. My 2008 CBR 600 RR. I just said I wouldn't buy one of those. Bought it as a black and green monstrosity that needed a good amount of work. Have since swapped all the plastics, done buttloads of maintenance, upgraded brakes, components, and just a lot of QOL items. That's quality of life, if you want to know the acronym on that, folks. Have about 45K miles on the clock, and it's just going to keep going up. Getting a Triumph bobber soon, so the CBR is probably going to become a track bike at that point. Very interesting swap to go from CBR to bobber. Great looking bike, though. Can we get some claps in the chat? This is a good looking motorcycle. Donald says, keep her. She's high maintenance. Cool. I'll let my wife know that we now have a girlfriend. We added her to the stable. I'll just keep collecting girlfriends and motorcycles, and my life will be good. She's probably watching the stream, and probably, I'm going to have a nice time at dinner tonight. Okay, so CBR 600 RR, my favorite thing on this bike is the fact that it has the undertail exhaust. Super cool feature on this bike. None of the other 600 class bikes had this at this point because they all went to the under engine exhaust mount that's more centralized for mass. This is not particularly the best exhaust system in terms of weight distribution for the bike, but it looks really freaking cool, right? Like, I just imagine it spitting flames out the back. And the old Daytona 675 from the mid-2000s had this too, and it's just, yeah. Oh boy, I think this is what it was originally, right? It said, bought it as a black and green monstrosity. I think this is when he bought it, because this is a bit of a monstrosity. and hope he fixed it. So, yeah, nice to see the CBR 600 living a good life there. Hayden asks here on chat, how do I join the Discord? Go to yammynoob.co and become a member. That's the best way. You join the Discord, and that's good stuff right there. Rowdy on Discord. Here's mine, 23 Suzuki GSX 8S. I've always felt like that model was hard to say. Puig, Puig, who knows? Touring naked new generation windscreen. Puig 3.0 extendable foldable levers. Puig, hyper naked mirrors. Toach. No. Boys, you got the Toach Pipe. Boys, we know what to say about the Toach Pipe, right? Come on. Back me up here. It's a meme on Discord, but I've talked about it before, I think public on the channel. If you get a Toach Pipe, you are persona non grata to me. You're dead to me. Toach razor tip full exhaust running DB killer. No Toach, says Alex, and I agree. No Toach. No Toach. Toach. The reason I say no Toach Pipe is because they are full of garbage. They put on their website fake research about their pipes, and it's like, if you literally go to the website, it looks like the jankiest, not real motorcycle exhaust company ever. They are like Temu race parts for your bike. They are not good. They are very low quality. I'm not a fan of the Toach pipes. I'm just going to say, it's not a fan. Not a fan. Now, this GSX 8S is looking pretty good. I actually really like this colorway on this bike. I think it looks good. He's got the windshield looking nice. And these are, we had the GSX 8R for a long time here on the channel. They're very well-rounded bikes. They work really well. Suzuki did their homework. They took their time. It actually ended up being a very good motorcycle. So, it's going to round up this one. Get that Toach Pipe out of here. Lemmy Winks on Discord. 017 FZ10. 16K miles. I've put 3,500 miles on it since buying it in June. First road legal bike after racing motocross, enduro, riding single track my whole life. Yet another Alpha Chad, Giga Squid, started off young, can graduate to the leader bike category immediately. Okay, paid $8,500 from the original owner. Oxford heated grips. Ooh, a man of culture. Two-wheel Dyno Works tune, up and down quick shifter. Full exhaust with various Chinesium carbon mufflers depending on track and street. R1 rear sprocket, seat concept seat, bar end mirrors, and a tail tidy. In my opinion, excellent value for the price for very little maintenance needed. Cheers from another Logan. Now, that's a good-looking bike. Honestly, I think this generation MT10 looks better than the current one with the little weird blobby goggle things. They've always had the weird goggles. This one really looks like a transformer, which, God, if they just made a good-looking MT10, I would be so tempted to get one, but they don't. They refuse to make a good-looking one, so I can't get it. Now, this one is set up very nicely. These are some cinematic, beautiful shots. Wow. And near some beautiful water and some cliffside here. Like, this guy's living life. Whatever you're doing it right. I think this motorcycle, the MT10 specifically, with these kind of quality of life upgrades, the comfort seat, some of the other stuff, the heated grips, it all of a sudden becomes a much more versatile monster bike, right? Like, because it's a monster bike. The MT10 makes a ton of power. It's a ton of fun to ride. But you just do a little bit to it, and it becomes a really good bike. And yeah, this one, it looks really clean for, what did you say you got it for, $8,500, something like that? It looks great. Yeah, Malamoto says so mean looking. Yeah, it's a mean looking bike. And the sound, when you start it up, it backs it up, which is so awesome. Yeah, I'm a big, big fan of the MT10 here. Two-wheeled Capo on Discord, one of our premier members. So I'll tell you guys a quick story about this guy. I met this user, this wonderful gentleman, back in 2021 at the Revzilla Get On Moto Fest. He came up, just a fan of the channel. He's like, hey, man, I love your work, blah, blah, blah. We got to talking. And then I was like, dude, you should join the Discord. He was like, oh, what? I was like, yeah, dude, join the Discord. I'm telling you, you're not going to regret it. It's a great time. It's going to be awesome. Do it. And he had a CB500 at the time, a little Honda CB500R, CBX500X, something like that. Within like a year of him joining the Discord, He got a ZX6, started tracking it, started getting faster, started meeting up with me at Eagles Canyon Raceway. We ran a couple laps together. He started getting so much knowledge about how to ride motorcycles and stuff. Then graduated to the MT10. You guys are going to see here in a little bit. So look, all I'm saying is this guy joined the Discord and his life got infinitely better motorcycle-wise. He started getting 600s and MT10s and learning how to do wheelies and riding super fast on track. I'm not saying, look, all I'm saying is like you join the Discord server and all of a sudden you become a better motorcycle person. That's all I'm going to say. So 2023 MT10, two-wheel Dynoworks flash, Leo Vinci mid-pipe, TST lighting, Pyramid Plastics bodywork, comfort seat, ASV lever, CRG mirrors, NRC tail tidy, T-Rex Racing engine covers, +1 rear sprocket, better tire mod, etc. 12,000 flawless miles in 1.5 years. Love the bike and would recommend. And so this is the one that I was telling you guys about that has kind of like the goggle eyes. This thing to me has always looked like a kid coming up for air out of the swimming pool. It's like they somehow made it worse. And I'm like, why the hell can you not? The new MT-09 SP looks awesome, right? You guys have seen the 24 with the slanty lights and stuff. Yamaha, literally just do that. Literally just make that into the MT-10 and you'll sell twice as many of them to people like me who refuse to buy it because it's so freaking ugly. I had to get on my horse there for a second, guys. I'm sorry. So, similar to the other MT-10 we just saw, all blacked out, quality of life mods, comfort seat. These bikes are awesome, man. I should really do one as a giveaway bike, honestly. It's been a while since we've done an R1 platform engine and frame on this channel. And, look at him pop. Like, what did I tell you guys? Popping wheelies, enjoying life, riding an MT-10. His life just got better. Jonathan here says, will the Discord get me riding an H2 tomorrow? Who knows? Maybe. Who knows? I don't know. All I'm saying is you join the Discord and amazing things happen in your life. That's all I've seen in my life, you know? Yeah, MT-10, great bike. I'm now very tempted to get one for the channel next year. Unless, knowing my luck, they'll make a new version of it as soon as I buy the 2025, and then everyone's like, where's the new version of it? So honestly, I'm just going to hold off on that. And if they make the R9, I'm going to just buy that. Because then I know that bike is going to get a lot of attention. You guys want to see the R9. Look at this. I told you guys. Next to the ZX6. Told him. He wadded it up at Barber, rebuilt the bike. He became a true motorcyclist. I'm just telling you, man. I'm just telling you. Join the Discord. Great things happen. Maximum Warp. The 2020 V-Strom 1050 XT. Was looking for a dad bike, and by God, did I find one. Bought it a year ago. It was traded into a dealer and only had 1,200 miles on it. Oh my God. What? I've added OEM Suzuki grip warmers, a Puig windscreen, and some Denali LED fogs that double as an extra turn signals, and a tank bag, I guess. Only other thing I want to do is add an Oshii exhaust because my only complaint is it's so smooth and planted and quiet. It doesn't have a ton of character. It does have cruise control, though. The 1050 XT, really cool bike. Really, really cool. Kind of slept on. Look how good it looks, man. Oh, I like next to this guy over here, the Aqua Teen Hunger Force. Yeah, kind of slept on. Proper dad bike. Put a pipe on this thing. Sounds awesome with the V-twin. It's basically, in my opinion, like a Japanese reliable budget version of a KTM Super Adventure, right? Because you're getting the V-twin, you're getting the dad bike flavor, you're getting something fun, and it's pretty sweet, right? I think this bike has a lot going for it. And especially if you got it with 1,200 miles straight into the dealership. Oh, man, this is a deal of a lifetime. The only way it could have been better is if you'd bought it privately from the guy because you would have got an even better deal on it. I bet you bought this thing for under $9,000 probably. And that's a heck of a bike for under $9,000. All right, boys. Motorcycle trivia time. We got Busa Man up against Kyle over here. Some wonderful characters I showed off on the channel a couple years ago. This is one of the more fun things that I like to do here on the stream because it gets to be a little more interactive. We get to see who can answer these questions. And yeah, let's see if I know them. I have not looked at any of them, so I have no idea what's coming up. And producer Logan he's been trying to best me a little bit lately. I think he's been trying to get me because I'm going to look pretty stupid. So let's see. The first question. What is the longest production motorcycle model in continuous production? Ooh, it's got to be a Honda, right? What is the longest production motorcycle model in continuous production? Now, the question is it exactly the model or exactly like the model and engine displacement? Because that might change. Because I think then Suzuki DRZ 400, those sort of things might be one of the longer ones. But I think there's something longer than that. Guys, if you know in the chat, let me know. I'm going to guess maybe longest production motorcycle model. Maybe the Super Cub, actually? The Honda Cub? We've been making that since the 60s, right? I'm going to say Honda Cub. The Royal Enfield Bullet has the longest and unchanged motorcycle production run of any bike, having been continuously in production since 1948. Oh my God. So when we say that Royal Enfields are dinosaurs and are just so old school, yeah, that's definitely one of them. Yeah, so none of us got it on chat here. So let's move on to the next question. What was the first production motorcycle to have a 6-speed gearbox? Okay, this is going to have to be something sporty, I think. Something maybe like 80s. I don't think, maybe 70s. I don't know, 70s. Because I don't know if the UJMs had 6-speed boxes. I think they had 5 speeds. It could be the Kawasaki GPZ 900. Maybe that was the first one to have a 6-speed box. But it could also be like some random BMW. It could be like the old GSs or something. I'm going to guess, you know what? Malamoto on chat here says the Widowmaker. It could be. I'm going to guess the GPZ 900R. Oh my God. The Suzuki T20 was the first production motorcycle to have a 6-speed transmission. It was introduced in the late 1965. We are 0 for 2 right now. We're getting obliterated here on the trivia tonight, boys. That was rough. Okay, maybe the third question I'll know. What bike was ridden to victory in the inaugural Paris-Dakar Rally in 1979? It's the BMW. It's the first GS, but I don't remember exactly the way that it was written. It's like R80, R90. Ugh, I always get this mixed up. But it's the first GS, I'm pretty sure. It's that first GS from BMW. It's like I'm going to say R80 GS. I think that's what it was. Oh my God, dude. I'm 0 for 3 right now. Rido Ciro Nevu won the race on a Yamaha XT500. God damn it. I don't know anything about motorcycles, apparently. We're going in the vault with all these old-ass knowledge. Man, come on. We are 0 for 3 right now, guys. Jesus Christ almighty. Okay, come on. Okay, we know this. What GP World Superbike motorcycle racer was nicknamed the Kentucky Kid? Come on, everybody should know this one. If you're watching, you should know, right? It's Nicky Hayden, Kentucky Kid, rest in peace, taken from us way too soon. And that's why the number 69 has been, retired in MotoGP. Nobody can use that number anymore because of Nicky Hayden. So yeah, won the championship in 2006. That was a crazy-ass year. And yeah, there we go. Died in 2017, way too soon. Cycling accident in Italy. Just total bummer, man. That did not need to happen. That was a big bummer. So, okay, we got that one correct. All right. What was the first motorcycle to feature ABS? And the bonus question, approximately how much did these early ABS systems weigh? Okay, so this one, I'm almost positive I know. I'm pretty sure it was a BMW. I don't remember which BMW it was, but I'm almost positive it was like a 1980s something BMW. I'm gonna say I'm just gonna say the R80. It wasn't the GS. It was the other one. I don't know anything about BMW motorcycles because I literally hate them. I don't like them at all. I'm gonna say it was a BMW something. I'll get half points for that. And approximately how much of these early ABS systems weigh? I'm gonna guess that they weighed. This early one weighed 40 pounds. I'm just gonna go crazy. Yes, okay, I got it. Half right here. BMW K100 was the first motorcycle to be equipped with anti-lock brakes in 88. That's the flying brick, as you can see it from there. And then the early ABS systems weighed almost 25 pounds. That's pretty crazy. Oh, chat, guys on chat here, K100, they got it. Yeah, BMW, my dad had one. Yeah, I feel like if your dad rode BMWs, then you know about them, but, you know, I didn't have a dad. I was birthed from the semen of Valentino Rossi and some lava. That's where I came from. Or from this iron lung here. Okay, what is the record for the most miles traveled on a motorcycle in 24 hours? it's got to be way more than 1,000 because 1,000 is the iron. But I'm gonna guess that the record for the most miles traveled in 24 hours is. Oh wait, there was that guy on the Triumph that did it on that ring. How much did he do it? I think I think I remember the record for this because they did a whole marketing thing out of it. I'm gonna say it was 2,200 miles. No, that's insane. Hold on, let me do the math because I remember he averaged like 120 something miles an hour for 24 hours. So if you back that out, it's gonna be like probably 2,300 miles on the Tiger. Yeah, let's see. Oh, I was so close. I was so close. I knew this. Greatest distance traveled was 2,492 miles. So yeah, he did over 100 miles an hour on average over this like crazy circuit that they had set up. Yeah, even Cervantes, who's he was an enduro guy. And I remember that video. He was like, this was one of the craziest things I've ever done on a motorcycle because the amount of, like, you probably like totally go nutso on the bike for that long. Like you probably start seeing stuff and yeah, just pretty crazy. Yeah, so I got that one pretty correct. All right, boys, those are the questions. And now everyone's favorite part of the live stream, the final bit. Producer Logan sends me the mystery box. And look at this new graphic. Producer Logan stepping it up here a little bit. Look at the poof with the little box and the mystery box. I like this. I did like last week's Elden Ring. That was a lot of fun. So we have here, it's just an envelope. So I thought, I was talking to him earlier today on our meeting, and I said, is it a book like the fanfic that we had last time, the crazy, what am I call it? Not fanfic, the motorcycle smut for old ladies riding it. And he said, it is not a book. And he's been kind to not get me anything too big because he knows that I'm moving. Oh, Jesus Christ. We have a very chintzy metal plate of some sort with all these biker quotes. You guys see that? So, we have biker rules. If it's too loud, you're too old. Ride it like you stole it. Never ride faster than your guardian angel can fly. If you're not getting bugs in your teeth, you're not riding enough. The road is calling and I must ride. Ride today because tomorrow is never guaranteed. When in doubt, throttle out. Now, these are like, I'll let you guys take a look at this up close on camera here a little bit. These are just straight up like boomer spec memes pretty much. Yeah, they're pretty much just like what you'd see on Facebook, people sharing, or like AI generated memes as well. Just like total slop that you would just repost. Yeah, this is Harley, right? Chat says Harley guys about to start bidding for it. All right, who wants it? Biggest. Oh my God, my brain has left the chat. The highest bidder. I almost said largest bid. Bring me your biggest check. Don't care the dollar amount. Give me one of those giant printed out checks for this really quite silly metal plate of some signs here for motorcycling. I love the little wings too. The graphics are just, I mean, this is like, you got this designed on Fiverr, right? Like who would have this design? This is just really, really silly. Yeah. Well, boys, that was Mystery Box. That was a live stream. It was a live stream that didn't want to happen. I swear to God, this was so ridiculous. So, guys, I appreciate y'all checking this out today. I appreciate you guys hanging out. If you want me to answer any more of your questions, join over on the Discord. I try to answer as many as I can. It's a ton of fun. You get entered to win the giveaway bikes. And, yeah, it's a good time. I appreciate y'all hanging out. Thanks for checking it out. I'll catch you later. Bye.